Hello, hello. I hope all's well. I like to go out for long walks in the mornings, and I just finished my walk. And as I was listening to different podcasts, um, debating the Gaza takeover by the United States and what Trump has said, um, I came across very interesting comments and some people's understanding of what Trump is actually trying to do. Of course, so many people who have this steadfast faith believe that, oh, this is just a chess game. He's playing a chess game uh, with Netanyahu, and Netanyahu had no idea what Trump was going to say. And this is a way to actually protect the Palestinians because in this case, the U.S. is going to come in and it's going to clean up and, the Palestinians, for the most part, some of them will go away and eventually will come back, and some of them will stay and, work and, live there as the cleanup and rebuilding takes place. And eventually the Palestinians will come back. And this is a slow motion way of Trump peeling himself and America away from Israel. Others were talking about how naive this take is, and how giving the fact that the entire cabinet, or at least for the most part, the vast majority of the cabinet, Trump's cabinet, are made of Zionists and people who are, fully on board of the greater Israel. I like listening to different takes of people, both sides of the aisle. Of course, many people think it's an insane to even think about that. I personally don't know what to make of it, because if America is actually taking it, America is taking it for Israel because it seems less controversial, or maybe because Israel couldn't handle the resistance after 16 months of trying to just destroy and kill as many people as possible. These people are still standing, and so maybe Israel is tired, exhausted, and they want their, little big brother, aka the United States, or their secret weapon, or their benefactor, to come and finish the job on their behalf. And then the U.S. will just say, okay, now you can have it. It's also interesting that Trump seems to think, oh, it's going to be the Riviera of the Middle East. We're taking it. The U.S. is taking it. Of course, aka Israel will take it, but the Arab nations will build it. Except they won't build Gaza for their brothering Palestinians, but they'll build it for the Zionists, the U.S. and Israel. It's just, the whole thing is just so strange. How is that? Like, why? Why are they gonna like? If you're taking it, why will the rich Middle East nations build it for you? So they're gonna build Gaza and make it the Riviera of the Middle East for you guys, but then they will also build wherever you end up taking the Palestinians, or wherever you end up dumping the Palestinians, except the vast majority of the Palestinians will resist, and therefore maybe you're planning to kill all of them. Because as we are hearing, last October there were 2.3 million Palestinians, and now Trump keeps on repeating that there are 1.7, 1.8 Palestinians. And I don't know why a lot of people are not paying attention to that, because where did the rest go? Because we know many people did not get out because Israel were not allowing people to get out, except the small number of people that got out when there were a short pause of so-called ceasefire. Anyway, so where did the rest go? Like, well, some people are pointing out, and I seem to think so too, that Israel knows how many people it killed, give or take, between 4 to 500,000, maybe more than that, because, using AI to calculate how many people in certain areas every time they drop a bomb or two or three, and the AI will generate the numbers of how many people killed. And so that way, they have a rough estimate of how many people, how many Gazans that got eliminated. And of course, it makes perfect sense because we know how we see in our own eyes, we see how Gaza was completely leveled and destroyed. And every time people are told to go this way, they're bombed. They go this way, they bomb them. They go that way. I mean, there was no place to hide. So that is what you call thinning out the population. And of course, Trump has the inside story because he's the president of the United States. And I'm sure he was told the number is much bigger. We eliminated this much. And so now we have smaller number, to dump to other parts of the world, whoever will take them. I'm thinking, why don't we give them their own state here in the United States? Of course, we're not going to do that. We have plenty of land, plenty of space, and these people are incredibly strong and resourceful. And even if we give them an empty land, they will make something out of it. It's incredible what they're doing. These people are just incredible. The Palestinians, I've never seen people like that in my life. They are just the Energizer bunny. They never give up. They're unlike any other humans on earth. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Their resilience and how creative and resourceful they are, and how they're just unbelievable. But of course, even if we give them, their own state here in the United States or in Europe, they don't want it. There is more to the story of just, Palestinians living in that land. This notion, to say they're willing to go wherever. The only reason they're staying right now, as Trump says, is because they have nowhere to go. No, they don't want to go anywhere. This is where they rather die and be buried, because there's more to just this place being their home. It has so much significance. This is the third holiest land for Muslims, as it is, so significant for the Christians and the Holy Land of the Christians and the Jews alike. So they are, in a way, they see themselves as the protectors of Islam in that land. So they'd rather die there than make a great life somewhere else. So I don't know, as a president, how he doesn't even know that. It's kind of sad that he doesn't even know that. It's pretty sad and actually pathetic. And of course the media, the mainstream media, is already trying to facilitate that. That the Palestinians, had they had a place else to go, they are willing not to come back. They're willing to go elsewhere, like this CNN here.
If I knew it was like this, I wouldn't have come back, says Khamis Samara.
If you weren't already distrustful of CNN, you definitely will be by the end of this video. When it comes to journalism, wording is everything, and that video posted by CNN uses very subtle propaganda that actually feeds into Trump and Netanyahu's agendas. The reporter is seemingly translating what the man in Gaza is saying, except they're intentionally mistranslating the message to get you to think that the people in Gaza want to leave. The reporter says that the man says, if we knew it were like this, we wouldn't have come back. But what he actually says right before that is, راح تقول شو اللي جابك, which translates to, you would say, what would bring you back here? So what the man is actually saying is that people on the outside looking in, when they see all this destruction, you would say, what would bring you back here? And I'm almost positive the rest of his message was that almost everyone in Gaza will tell you they would rather come back to a destroyed home than to not return at all. There are plenty of videos of people in Gaza saying that they're just happy to be back even if their homes are destroyed. But CNN wants you to believe that they're not happy to be back, that they want to leave. Just last night, Trump was saying that the US is going to relocate everyone in Gaza, take full control of the Strip, and turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East. And he specifically said that they would permanently relocate people in Gaza. Now, major news outlets are trying to get Americans to believe that people in Gaza would be on board with this because they now want to leave when they saw all this destruction. They knew it was that bad. Okay, they were in Gaza. They literally saw the destruction with their very own eyes. They experienced the bombings. They knew what their homes looked like. And they pushed through 15 months of that without ever giving up hope that they'd return to their homes. They're not going to leave, even with false promises of a better life elsewhere. Don't let the media fool you into thinking that Palestinians would be grateful or even willing to leave.
The lies. I don't even know why Palestinians or anyone would allow mainstream media to interview them anymore. They're not there to tell your story. They're there to fabricate lies. They are there to fabricate lies and to build consent for your downfall. So why? We've seen them lie over and over and over again. The only time they want to tell so-called a story of the Palestinians or the Muslims is when they want to lie about, about us. So I don't even know why invite them. I'm still confused why Muslims keep on allowing the mainstream media to interview them. I'm not talking about only Palestinians. I'm talking about Muslims in general. The mainstream media are liars, and they are the perpetual evil of everything that's happening in the world. Everything that's bad that's taking place between humanity, it's because of the mainstream media, especially the Western mainstream media, just constantly perpetuating and lying about people and about cultures and about humanity and about I don't know what they are. And thank goodness that Americans, the vast majority of the American people, finally understood and understand who these people are. That's why they're so desperate. Nobody watches them anymore. So it's time for Muslims to just stop the madness and never give your story or never allow these people to talk to you. They're evil. The mainstream media, especially the Western mainstream media, I should say, are evil. The other interesting thing is the pager. It's very strange that, Trump was giving a pager by Benjamin Netanyahu. Like, why would you give the President of the United States, a pager which symbolizes death and destruction of thousands and thousands of people? Why do that? And why accept something like that either? It's just the whole thing. I mean, what happened to humanity that we are bragging? It's so sad that leaders are bragging about death and destruction of other human beings, because we know not everyone who was killed and forever injured or maimed was a rebel leader or a Hezbollah. I mean, these pagers exploded in the middle of markets and freeways and everywhere. And so many innocent people got severely injured or lost their lives. It's despicable. But we seem to think, Muslims are subhumans. And so, the US and Israel seem to be very proud. It's almost being in the business of killing Muslims, it's just very sad. Just very sad. My take is that the golden pager or the gold pager means you stay the course and everything will be golden. Giving that Trump was almost assassinated twice and was saved by the grace of God. You get out of line and there's no place for you to hide. That's how I take it. I mean, I think the symbolism is so powerful, and I am shocked that more people don't see the irony of this. I mean, that's my take, and I know it's very strange for a Muslimah who wears the hijab to point this out. It's probably not a good idea, but I just thought, how strange is that? Just very bizarre.